The Blazers won last night.
They made it a little scary.
Made it a little scary.
Speaking of spooky Halloween.
The refs were not helping the situation. I am not a referee guy. I don't like to lean on it, but
49 free throws is egregious.
49 free throws is egregious, and I know we sit here and we can laugh about this for a moment before we dive into the game about, there are different rules for different players. I was not aware that there was the Kyle Filipowski rule for the Utah Jazz the same way that other people get it. I just used him as an example.
Yeah, no.
But Markkanen had 12 attempts.
Keontae George had 15.
He went 100%. Good for him. But yeah, I don't like to be bang on the referee guy, but
they had a bad night last night.
The only time I'm bang on the referee guy is when you're taken away from my viewing pleasure.
Yeah, I mean,
once I notice you, I'm out.
It was a bit of a ref show last night. The thing that bothered me wasn't that it was so lopsided. I mean, that did bother me a little bit, but it was the inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
I saw probably a half dozen brush fouls, and meanwhile I'm seeing other guys getting the living crap smacked out of him. Like Shaden got his head taken off once, and it was like, bro.
I mean, Denny basically got tackled to the ground.
Yeah, and they're like, no, he was vertical, and I'm like, no, he wasn't. He jumped into him, knocked him to the ground, and Denny just laid on the ground with his hands up, like, are you kidding me? Now, credit to Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler's a dude, man. He's damn good.
That was one of my favorite parts about watching the Jazz game last night. I was like, man, look at all these guys where I know they went to school.
Yeah.
My buddy, one of my good buddies and I, we play that game all the time. You'll just look at somebody and be like, Lauri Markkanen? And be like, bro, Arizona. Come on.
Walker Kessler, Auburn. You know, that Auburn team with him and Jabari Smith Jr., man, that was pretty damn good.
We love to play that game, and Utah is a really fun one for that game.
Yeah, the Ace Bailey Rutgers. You know what I mean? Like, Rutgers?
But we'll know that because he's a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
We'll know that. 2 guys out of Rutgers that year.
Cody Williams?
For the first time ever.
Cody Williams?
Cody Williams.
I don't know.
Cody Williams went to... I don't.
They put a lot of pros out in the NBA in the last 5 years. Colorado.
That's right.
Him, Jabari, Tristan Da Silva, Bufkin. There's a lot of guys that have come out of there.
Yeah, I know. I watch a lot of Colorado basketball. I should have known that because
I
watch Pac-12 basketball.
Yeah, they got a lot of dudes.
I still watch Pac-12 basketball. Yeah. But one thing that I thought was really nice, obviously from last night, Shaden got it going. Denny is really good, but I think the biggest thing, and I think anybody that watched that game can take away from it, is that Jrue Holiday is, thanks for being a Blazer, bud.
Really good.
Yeah, thanks for being a Blazer.
Look, I know everybody gets mad at me when I toot my horn. Toot, toot.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He's really good. He's exactly what this team needs, especially down the stretch. I don't need him to go off for 27 every night, but
he can be.
And being that calm, cool down the stretch, he's like, inbounds the ball to me. Don't worry. I will make free throws. Everything is going to be fine. And that's just such a breath of fresh air, especially for, young teams like this one that, you expect to struggle from time to time. This is a game that I think the Blazers last year lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
the steadiness of Denny, Jrue, and Jeremy is huge for this team right now.
The shock factor for me of any NBA team losing when they're up by 20 is gone.
Mm-hmm. Because
it's a game of runs.
Everybody says, "Oh, it can't happen." Did you see what the Nuggets did last night? They came out in the second half and they went on a 29-2 run against the Pelicans and erased them.
Yeah, it just kind of happens. I mean, it pissed me off when I first started watching it because I was like, "What? How is this possible?
Guys
is this
are just
an
better.
effort thing?"
They're just better at offense now.
Yeah, and so now I'm kind of used to it. So I wasn't necessarily concerned about losing that 20-point lead that the Blazers had last night, but it's how you close it out because like I said, I'll double down on this team loses that game last year.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think the veteran presence of Jrue Holiday and, another year for Denny, another year for Tumani. Donovan Clingan doesn't have the best stat sheet from last night, but he was effective. He was disruptive at times. I was happy to see that.
You felt his presence.
That's the
thing, is 3 blocks. He controlled the paint. Again, the fouls kind of, I think, limited some of their physicality, but what the Blazers did last night, you saw a recipe for success yet again. We talk about identity so much on this show.
Mm-hmm.
When you're out yesterday, I kind of ran down the stats. They are the number 1 team in the NBA at turning teams over, and they forced the Jazz and another team 5 straight games of forcing opponents into 20+ turnovers.
That's amazing.
They have a turnover rate of over 22%, and they're getting in transition. They took 55 threes. 55 threes. They went. If I told you on any given night, the Blazers.
I hate it, if I'm being honest.
It didn't feel like they were taking that many because there's so many possessions. They got 96 shots up. Now, more than 50% of the shots came from 3. But think about this. The Blazers' recipe for success is they take 96 shots, the Jazz take 84. They take 27 free throws, which on most normal nights, that's a good night. But the problem is the Jazz go plus 22 from the line in attempts.
And you're already at 25, 27, whatever it was last night. That's not bad. That's your average. But if someone's putting 22 more on you, that's the 20-point lead right there.
That's legitimately
the lead.
That's the difference because they go 41 of 49, so they shoot 84% from the line on 49 attempts. That's great. But the Blazers shoot 48% from the field, 38% from three, 85% from the free throw line. So you almost go 50, 40, 90, and you get a high volume of threes, you get a high volume of free throws, you turn the other team over 20 times. Like that's the recipe for success. That's if you want to know what this identity is, it's force turnovers, get out and run, get more shots up, get more threes up. They are playing a math problem, but from a different angle.
Yeah, my only concern sometimes, and I'm definitely nitpicking here on somebody like Denny Advia, is I love when he drives to the basket, create that contact, create that disruption, that fast pace that we keep talking about. This team's been playing with this year. I get squirmy when he shoots the ball. And I don't know if that's just an early season thing for me or not really fair, but I get a little squirmy when he shoots the ball. I like that he creates. I don't necessarily love it when he finishes not at the hoop.
I mean, it's through to start the season now, through 5 games, he's shooting 48% from the floor, 38% from three, and 81% from the line.
I'm not saying it's a stat thing by any means. For some reason, it's a visual
thing. It's an aesthetic thing?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Like, I love him going through the paint and just being angry.
Because he's just a truck going to the
rim. And we
rim.
talked about this after the first 2 games, that the offense is clearly kind of designed for Denny to do that stuff. Yes. Yeah, it's very centric on that I guess I want him to do that and kick it out to a Shaden to kind of take that shot. Let Tumani try to get going and take that shot, or Jeremy off the bench, etc. One of my other great takeaways from this game last night, and I don't know where you are on this, boy, I feel like we all made a ton of fun of the signing of Blake Wesley at the beginning of the year. It was like, Dame's out, so we need some like garbage point guard to fill out the roster. Boy, he's been fun to watch.
Blake Wesley matters.
He's been really fun to watch. He's Rusty over there is going to buy himself a Blake Wesley jersey.
Oh, dads everywhere are getting Blake Wesley jerseys for Christmas. That is 100% a thing that's happening.
And he's been great, and I think that's, again, tying in with Jrue, part of the great upgrade from last year. Because Scoot, I don't want to blast Scoot because we still have another, still have time to watch him develop and grow, and he's hurt right now. But with such a raw Scoot last year and an Anthony Simons, you're kind of missing that fluidity at point guard, and I think that is very much on display for this team. And that's my kind of basketball. Look, I'm the old school. My favorite basketball players outside of Reggie Miller are like John Stockton and J. Kidd and Rajon Rondo. Yeah. Like, I love old school point guards.
I mean, which Jrue kind of fits into. Exactly. Now, he's not on the ball as much, but how he plays the game is very similar.
I am not, I'm not a hater, but I was never like obsessed with Steve Nash. I was never obsessed with Steph Curry because I was like, you guys are great scorers, but I want my point guard dishing it. I want to distribute. I want Scottie Pippen. If you're not a true point guard, I want you Scottie Pippen style.
Yeah.
Or like LeBron now. I love LeBron now as a point guard. Because I'm just the old school point guard. So when I watch Jrue and even Wesley to an extent, that's why Caleb Love drives me nuts, but I loved him in college.
Look, Caleb Love's going to get him up.
Ain't no shot he ever seen he didn't like.
Nope. Real quick, Thiago Splitter last night. I loved what he did with a couple adjustments. Chris Murray's sick. Matisse gets hurts his thumb. We haven't got an update on it yet, but Matisse was shaking.
Shaden's kind of limping around.
Yep. But early in the game, he made a change, and he went with a Shaden-centric group that did not have another ball handler / scorer. It was him, to Blake, Wap, and it was Teese, then Roops. If Shaden doesn't score, nobody scores.
Right.
And so this is the thing we've been talking about with Shaden, elevating him in the pecking order. You're the guy. Go do the thing. And when he was that's when he started hitting those threes. He started like, oh, I know where I fit in this. I'm at the top of the pole. I'm at the top of the pecking order. If I look around and I go, look, these guys are here to support me right now. And it simplified his process. And all of a sudden, boom, like the comfort level. I didn't even care if the ball went in. It was how comfortable and consistent he was taking his shots when he needed to, where he needed to. The flow and the rhythm for him was fantastic. fantastic.
And I live in the world with Rust a little bit that this is why we like him in that main rotation and not being the main scorer, because if he's not on, you're in trouble, to where I have more faith that Jeremy Grant's going to be on. I know that's where you and I differ a lot on this. But maybe that's what Tiago's testing out. Maybe he's saying, you know what? I do think this is the right move of keeping you and not having you be the focal point of the score. But where are you if you need to be the focal point of a score? Because, dude, if you're in shooting woes and you're a shooter, what's the best way to get out of it? Keep shooting.
Keep shooting. And
if
be
you
in a
put him
spot
in
where you know you're going to get your shots because they're dependent on you to get your shots.
Self-inflicted pressure.
Yeah.
And I thought Shaden was really good at it last night. I hope his ankle is fine. But
sounds like he's okay.
But if he sits out tomorrow, which could happen, which would be a bummer because I'd love to see this team at full strength against Jokic. But if he sits out tomorrow, you're probably going to get your wish. You know, Jeremy will be in the starting lineup.
I wonder how they handle
just
that.
to see how that looks.
I wonder how they handle that. Do they keep Jeremy on the bench because Shea's only out for a game or so, or you know what I mean? It's something minor. And so if Chris is back healthy, Chris ends up starting, and then Jeremy comes in for Chris, or you know, however that ends up working.
Or do you go really weird and you could go big? You know, throw Duop in there with Kling. I don't know. I think with Shaden out, I think against a team like the Nuggets tomorrow, you could get into some weird rotational thoughts if you wanted to. Look, and 5 games in the season.
And honestly,
why not?
It would be interesting to see what Tiago does. The other one was Tiago. You know, the Blazers were in their first, you know, real crunch time situation, up 3, playing defense. Tiago Splitter chooses to foul. Foul up 3, under two to go. And I was
which I hate, but I'll give you respect for doing it.
It was. Let me put this in the notebook. Let me put this in the notebook. This is what you did in this situation. Do you continue to do this? Do teams start anticipating this? Do you change this up depending on who you're playing? But it was a first like real like this is like there was 2 things last night. 1, that Shaden rotation. 2, Tiago fouling up 3. Those are the first 2 like flashing lights of this is Tiago Splitter.
Yeah. Starting to put his own stamp.
This is what he did in this situation. And
it's almost like his own analytics.
I mean, it's every coach has.
Sabermetrics.
Yeah. What's funny is Tiago has continued to make challenges in the first half, just like Chauncey has, which I know has irritated a lot of people. But it was like, oh, it's Chauncey's thing. It's like, no, it's a coach thing. It's a feel thing. And you know, some teams operate with very rigid with their rules of challenges. Some of them kind of baseball manager of like, you know what? That's my guy. He's real emotional about that. Sure, we should probably keep that, but I'm going to back my guy right here.
Yeah, I also thought Tiago being a lot more vocal at the end of the game was a nice breath of fresh air, because I feel like Chauncey sometimes at the end of the game just kind of shuts up and lets people play, to where I am very much more of a Tiago yapping.
I mean,
kind of talking to people about what's going on.
Against Golden State, he did the same thing. When Golden State went to that zone, he was pointing and kind of miming everything that he wanted them to do and to change the attacks that they were doing. And he's very much a talker right there, which is kind of funny because when you talk to Tiago, he just talks like this and doesn't give you really anything. But no, there was Tiago putting he wasn't stamping passports, but he's rubber stamping some things last night of what he of what we could get out of that. So those are in the notebook of like, okay, I got that here for you. Let's see what this looks like later.
A good little win last night. That probably wouldn't have happened last year, so that's a nice thing to build your season on. They'll take on the Denver Nuggets tomorrow. We might get in a little bit of chatter on that, although it's a football Friday, so we'll see. Going into a nice Halloween game. If you're going to the game, good on you. That'll be fun.